and welcome to another edition of the Premiership. Bring you match week 2 of the Premier League. And we've got 4 magnificent feature games. All of them have got goals and incident and everything else, plus a roundup of all the other day's fixtures. There was also 3 red cards as well, as you'll see in the roundup a little bit later on with Johnny Newbon. We've got 4 games, as I say. Later you'll see Everton against Watford, newly promoted Norwich against Newcastle, and of course Wolves' home match with Manchester United to come as well. They're all our feature games, but our main game comes from Villa Park, where another newly promoted side, Aston Villa, took on Bournemouth on Saturday, seeing if they could back up their 1-1 draw last week against Tottenham with a victory at Villa Park in their first home match in the Premier League for 3 years. Describing the match for us, Johnny Tilsley.
Well, it's a tremendous atmosphere at a rainy Villa Park as Aston Villa prepare for their first home match of the season and their first Premier League game in 3 years against the Bournemouth team who won last week. Let's check that Villa lineup with Heaton in goal, Gilbert and Gales, Miggs and Taylor. Miggs formerly of Bournemouth. One change in the midfield, Douglas Luiz in for the suspended Conor Hourihane, and it's Trezeguet, McGinn, Grealish and Hout Ghazi, and Wesley, who got the equaliser at Spurs last week, up front. What about Bournemouth? Young Aaron Ramsdale in goal for them. Then it's Smith, Cook, Ake and Rico at the back. Good back for that. Then Harry Wilson, Philip Billing, Lerma and Ryan Fraser in the midfield. Josh King playing as the attacking midfielder. And Callum Wilson, the main man for goals. In actual fact, he scored last week in the game we couldn't show you for technical reasons against Sheffield United. But they're up against another nearly promoted side in Aston Villa, who kick off attacking the north stand away to my right hand side in the claret and blue shirts. Bournemouth in the old dark strip. And here's Ryan Fraser. Wilson. Rico, good football here from Bournemouth at the start. Here's Ryan Fraser. King waiting in the middle. He's towards King. Oh, good play. And a good save by Tom Heaton too. Grealish. Lifted in here, 10 minutes gone. Here's Wesley. I couldn't get it out of under his feet, unfortunately. Nice idea there from Aston Villa. They'll be looking to exploit the flanks as much as they possibly can, I would have thought. And King has lost it this time, and now a chance for Villa to come forward. Here's McGinn. And Trezeguet, a bit of space on the right. Trezeguet's cross is a good one out. Ghazi attacks it. And away it goes to safety for Bournemouth. King. Harry Wilson. Finds his namesake Callum. It's Harry again, and he's lost it this time. Here's John McGinn. Finding Trezeguet. Oh, he's kept it in well, the young winger here for Villa. And John McGinn is making a lovely one, and he's onside here. It's John McGinn. Good save by Aaron Ramsdale. Really good piece of goalkeeping. Here's Fraser, 5 to go before the break. It's Ryan Fraser. Now King. Both teams not really showing the cutting edge. This is Billing to King. Villa with plenty back, and Wings gets it away. Here's Douglas Luiz in for the suspended Conor Hourihane. And he gives it away too. Here's King. And onside is Callum Wilson. Oof. And that was the best chance of the match. Callum Wilson, who scored against Sheffield United last week, must be pretty the trick this week. It was a tremendous effort, but I think Tom Heaton would have had the post covered in any case, but sometimes one can't take the chance. As we're now deep into 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. And there goes the half-time whistle here at Villa Park. Well, our first visit to Villa Park for the Premiership programme here on ITV is undergoing so far. Hopefully the second half will be much better to come. Join us after the break for the second half highlights, but at half-time it's Aston Villa 0, AFC Bournemouth 0. And a warm welcome back to Villa Park. And the Premiership is not the only thing that ITV have got their mitts back on this season. We've got the Champions League live as well to come later on during next month, and then the FA Cup in January. 2 live matches from the third round onwards, and that's a foul. at the start of the second half on Callum Wilson by Josh Ingles, so free kick. So you'll have plenty of live football to come on ITV over the next 9 months or so, as well as Premiership highlights. We've resurrected those, and the Champions League football is always a great stuff. Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham and Chelsea all involved. You'll be able to see most of those games live with us only on this channel. Anyway, free kick to be taken by Ryan Fraser. With 35 yards out, it's Fraser. It's over. And behind for a goal kick to Aston Villa. Callum Wilson. Still Wilson. It's King. Good save. Tom Heaton did well. Near post. You can't be getting beat from there, but Tom Heaton's too astute and too experienced of a goalkeeper for that. And Villa broken away quickly. A great breakout. It's Trezeguet now. Trezeguet for Villa. Good save by Ramsdale. Terrific save by Aaron Ramsdale. Still not away yet. This is John McGinn. Grealish is calling for it and he gets it. And it's Jack Grealish. And another fine save from Ramsdale. McGinn laying it in. Grealish with the first shot, but Trezeguet also found Ramsdale a very big obstacle there. Trezeguet for Villa. Coming up towards a quarter of an hour left. In towards Lois. Oh dear me. His volley was very wayward in the end. Went to volleying on the left foot and I don't think he wished he had now. Here's Grealish. McGinn is calling for it here in the middle. It's John McGinn! That is a fantastic goal. John McGinn for Aston Villa. It's a pinchable goal. It's a fabulous strike from McGinn. It must have been all of 25 yards as he struck it. And he needed something special to beat the brilliant Aaron Ramsdale in that Bournemouth goal. And it just eludes him. Great moment for Villa on their home return to the Premier League. John McGinn. 12 minutes to play in the game. And that's got Villa Park jumping. 1-0 to Villa. And the way they're playing in the second half, I think they've deserved it. And Bournemouth will be cursing those missed chances. Eddie Howe will be disappointed. And Dean Smith now will want to make sure his team hang on. Dean Smith, of course, the Villa manager, his father used to be a steward here at Villa Park many years ago. But here's Wesley now for Villa. Trying to read all comers and then ended up falling fine on his face. 5 minutes to go. Rico for Bournemouth. And Rico's cross blocked by Engels and it's ushered out for a throw-in. And Bournemouth are going to make a substitution. They have to now. Philip Billing, the former Huddersfield man, goes off and Lewis Cook replaces him now with 5 minutes to spare. We're inside the final minute. Ball played in, good header away. Now Lewis to bring it away. Grealish. And Elghazi can't keep it in play. We're into stoppage time. 3 minutes of stoppage time. But stand between Villa and 3 Premier League points. They haven't had those since 2016. Here's Jefferson Lerma. Junior Stanislas, another substitute. Lerma again. Chips it into the danger zone. Away by Mings. Referee's poised to blow the whistle. Still Bournemouth on the attack, but there's no more time. Villa have won. A terrific result for Dean Smith's men, and they all 10, who are the 12th man, cheered them to victory here today. Ramsdale was Bournemouth's saviour for so long, but it was a terrific goal. Certainly a contender for the August Goal of the Month competition we got at the end of the month. And John McGinn's goal, certainly a contender. 25-yard cracker with his left foot. Settles the issue here, and Villa get their first Premier League points of the new season. It's finished Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 0 at a very wet Villa Park. Well, a great win there for Aston Villa. Terrific performance by them. Bournemouth gave as good as they got. Tom Heaton made a couple of good saves, but what a goal to win it in the second half from John McGinn. Certainly a contender for our Goal of the Month competition at the end of the month.
So a great win there for Villa. They go on to 4 points now and unbeaten in their first season back in 3 years. A great start for Dean Smith's side. Now we move on to another traditional football ground, Goodison Park, where Everton, who drew 1-1 against Crystal Palace last week, and should have won it at the end if you remember, took on Watford under Kiko Sanchez-Flores, their new manager, back for his second spell. He started with a win against Brighton last week. Could he back that up with a win at Goodison Park? At Goodison Park, to find out for us, Jay Matterface.
Well, Watford, having won very well last week, are up against Everton, who drew against Crystal Palace and were unlucky not to win it in the last few stages of the game. But they are both unchanged from last week. Watford, of course, unchanged with their 2-0 victory over Brighton, but Everton unchanged. They make no changes. Pickford in goal then, Coleman, Keane, Mina and Dignia. And across the two holding midfielders, we've got Delph and goal. Delph is signing from Manchester City. Then it's the Brazilian Richarlison, Gylfi Sigurdsson and Alex Iwobi, a new signing from Arsenal. And it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, just getting a nod ahead of Moise Keane, who's on the bench. And Watford are unchanged themselves from last week, and they put off a fantastic victory. It was quite an easy victory over Brighton. They line up with Ben Foster, the season goalkeeper, in goal. Femina, Dawson, Cathcart and Holebas are the back four. Then it's Decore and Capoue. And then Hughes, Cleverley and Delafeu, the three-man further midfield, with Andre Gray, the top scorer, up front. No place in the lineup yet for Troy Deeney, who's out for injury. Well, we're all set to go then. It's Everton in blue to get us underway on a bright sunlit afternoon. Quite a very warm afternoon here down in here on Merseyside, as Richarlison makes the first break and he's fouled straight away by Holebas, who may well pick up the first booking from the referee here. And the referee straight away books Holebas. It was a bit on the dodgy side, that challenge. As you see there, Richarlison making the break and he's trying to hurdle the challenge. Holebas knew what he was doing, and even despite the fact that we're a couple of minutes into the first half, it's a yellow card, so he's got to watch his step now as Richarlison flicks that free kick in, and we get a second chance. It was headed away by Watford with Richarlison. Here's Delph trying to get on the end of that. Here's Etienne Capoue now for Watford. He's fine. Delafeu, former Everton player incidentally, Gerard Delafeu, and he's got a way down the left hand side, and Coleman, he's been left in his wake, and it's Delafeu back across the goal, and a chance there, and I think it was Hughes who forces the save there from Pickford. That could have been a terrific start there for Watford, looking to get their second win on the bounce. As well, Hughes still, they might get it here cleverly, and again Pickford required them to make a good save, and that was a good positive start from Watford. But here's Delph, and Calvert-Lewin is offside as that ball is played through, and Watford can breathe again as that ball was played through. He's just timed it a little late there, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Decore, Cleverley, good ball, and Delafeu's got in again down the left. Everton have left him completely unmarked. Still Gerard Delafeu, pull back, Cleverley might get the shot off, blocked by Keane. Mina trying to hook it away, and he had done. Now Calvert-Lewin, and the ball is not being packed up, and now there could be trouble because Calvert-Lewin is chasing his own ball, and he's got through. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's one-on-one practically with Foster, across the face, and Sigurdsson will score. That was a calamitous piece of defending there from Watford. The ball just went, and 4 marks to Calvert-Lewin. He changed his own through pass, got into a position where he could cross or shoot. He decided to elect to cross, and I think that was the better option. Sigurdsson was onside as the ball was played, and in the end it was an easy finish, and Marco Silva against his old side has put Everton 1-0 in the league. Gylfi Sigurdsson the scorer, but really kamikaze defending there by Watford, having made a bright start to the game. Well, that is a setback for Kiko Sanchez-Flores, absolutely for sure. He'll be tearing his hair out at that. This is Clary now to Decore for Watford. Chip towards Gerard Delafeu, who's had a bit of joy down that left hand side, as I was saying earlier. But Everton now starting to get a little bit of pressure up here, and it's Calvert-Lewin. Richarlison, the former Watford man, is available on the left, or on the right I should say. Richarlison's cross, Sigurdsson's there, and he heads it down, and he's headed onto the roof of the net. But that was a wonderful bit of play there from Everton again. showing their class and really trying to prove that they need to step it up here at Goodison Park. Richarlison again. And the ball, oh, he played a lovely 1-2, and Richarlison's in behind again down the right. Calvert-Lewin is desperately trying to stay outside in the middle. And that's Calvert-Lewin, and that's Iwobi, that's 2. It all started with that 1-2, and Richarlison receiving it on the right hand side. The cross came in, Calvert-Lewin had a swipe at it, and Iwobi, from one of the most acutest of angles, smashes it in, and the glider streak goes wild. Watford, after a solid and bright start all over the place, and Alex Iwobi makes it 2. Just too simple, really. It was just unreal. So with 39 gone, it's Everton 2, Watford 0, and it's totally and utterly deserved, really. Watford have only themselves to blame for this. And now Delph now to Richarlison. Everton going for number 3 here potentially. But here's Dawson. Watford must be shell-shocked by that, but here's Delafeo trying to chase it, and he's run out of pitch. We're now into stoppage time. This is Andre Gray, and he just lost his foot in, and it's just allowed his former Burnley colleague Michael Keane to get a foot in and get it away as the half-time whistle sounds here at Goodison Park. Well, Watford started to brighter, but then Everton took control, and 2 goals from Gylfi Sigurdsson and Alex Iwobi after mistakes, really. Kamikaze Watford defending led to the 2 goals. Half-time here at Goodison Park. Everton 2, Watford 0. So into the second half, 5 minutes into it. Here's Gomez now for Everton. He's got Richarlison away, and here's Calvert-Lewin. 1-on-1 with Foster. Real chance for Everton to go 3 up, and Ben Foster makes a smart save, and then I think Craig Dawson got the rebound away, but now Capu looking for Gray, and it's Watford now leading the charge, and they're down the right hand side, and it's that man again, Delafeo, played in there. Here's Gray. Oh, he's heading into the Gladys Street end for a goal kick. Well, Calvert-Lewin denied by Foster a moment ago, and then the ball played back to Gray from Delafeo's pass, and over it went. And once again, Delafeo. This man loves to get forward. It's Gerard Delafeo across the face, turned away by Mina. That was Andre Gray waiting in the centre as well. Here's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And he's got Iwobi away, and here's Alex Iwobi again onside. Now then, can Everton make it pay this time? Good save, Calvert-Lewin, 3-0. And that surely settles any issue. And surely now, even with the amount of time that there's left to go in this game, it's got to be game, set and match. The ball played through. It was easy as pie, really. And in the end, it was a simple task. In she went, and there is the third. As to the goal he got at Crystal Palace last week in that 1-1 draw, and he's getting a standing ovation from 39,000 blue half of Merseyside Everton fans. So Watford 3-0 down, and with 63 minutes gone, needing a miracle to even troll the match. Here's Jordan Pickford, Luca Dean, and here's Iwobi. Everton now looking rampant at every moment. They look like scoring on every attack, and Calvert-Lewin's in again. Calvert-Lewin, terrific save. Ben Foster keeping the score down as he has to at this stage of the proceedings. Lovely football again. Watford not getting out quickly for the offside, and well saved. Well, Iwobi and Calvert-Lewin off. Bernard and Moise Keane comes on, the young Italian who's signed from Juventus for £16 million. Everton with the corner then. Luca Dean to send it in then from the near side. And that's towards Moise Keane, in fact, and he got his header in, and just wide in the end. Well, that would have been a turn up with his first touch. Moise Keane just run around the penalty spot area, but it was wide of the target. Here's Decore into Welbeck, Firmina. Welbeck and Decore waiting, and it's Decore, and he heads wide. Best chance Watford have created in the second half. and it was a 3-header for Decore. Everton had just gone to sleep defensively, but Pickford was confident enough that that header had just gone past the post. Inside the final 10 minutes. This is Moise Kean, the substitute. Oh, he's done really well. Past one player. Might get it onto the right foot here. It's Moise Kean! And that is a beauty! And that's 4-0. Well, it needs no words from me to describe how good that goal really was. Right foot rasper, 25 yards out. That's certainly a contender for our goal of the season competition, or goal of the month competition later on at the end of this month. What a superb strike, right in the corner. Foster no chance. 4-1. Moise Kean's first goal for Everton, and he got the seal of approval from his manager Marco Silva. And that adds to goals from Welby, Calvert-Lewin and Gylfi Sigurdsson. And Watford now surely a well-beaten side. 4-0. Everton in complete control of this game. Watford had a bright start to proceedings, but obviously have tended to tail away from it all. Here's Dawson now for Watford. The defence has just been shocking. There's only one bright spot. This is Delafeu, former Everton player. I don't think he's let anyone down from Vicarage Road. It's just been the rest of the team has just not performed. Inside the final minute, Decore. Good football into Cleverley. Now Delafeu against his old club scores. And for his individual play, he's deserved that. Gerard Delafeu. The consolation as we move into 3 added minutes at the end of the game here at Goodison Park. And Watford have themselves a consolation goal to take away back to Vicarage Road. They'll take away no points obviously because Everton had done the damage before then with their 4 goals. He's actually mishit it. He's hit it with his right foot, it's come off his left foot, and it's nestled sweetly into the left hand corner, and it's kissed in off the post. So there we go. But he's deserved that. He's worked really hard, even if some of his teammates really haven't done themselves justice today. It's 4-1 still to Everton though. The game is still Everton's for sure, and as we move into deep into the 3 minutes of stoppage time, referee poised to blow the final whistle, which he does so now, very much so. In a second or two he does now, and what a victory for Everton. 4-1. Goals from Sigurdsson, Welby, Calvert-Lewin and Moise Kean with the pick of the goals with a 25-yard right foot rasper, which made it 4-0, the best of the lot. Everton did concede one when Watford scored right at the death through Gerard Delafeu, their former player, scoring against his old club. He really was a bright spark on a torrid afternoon for Watford, but it's Everton who have run out comfortable winners. They've beaten Watford 4-1 here at Goodison Park. Well, good result there for Everton. Their season up and running at Goodison Park, and a resounding victory against Watford, who didn't really offer much. The only one bright spark in their team was Gerard Delafeu, who really impressed against his old club, but sadly in a heavy defeat, 4-1 to Everton there, and it was a truly domineering performance. Now we'll feature another newly promoted side. We've already seen Villa and what they had to offer. Now what could Norwich offer as they took on Newcastle? Both teams, remember, lost. Norwich lost 2-0 to Liverpool last week, and Arsenal beat Newcastle, their opponents Newcastle, by a goal to 0. Watching at Carrow Road for us on a very dramatic day, I have to say, in a dramatic match, was John Drury. Well, Norwich back in the Premier League after a 3-year absence, and an expectant crowd here at Carrow Road to see Newcastle, to see them take on Newcastle. Norwich unchanged from their 2-0 defeat against Liverpool, where they actually played well. Crew in goal, Aaron Zinnerman, Godfrey and Lewis at the back, Turnbull and Leitner, the two holding midfielders, Bueda, Stipperman and Todd Cantwell, and Timo Pukki with 30 goals in the Championship last season, leading the line. Newcastle who lost quite closely 1-0 against Arsenal, Dubrocker in goal into back five, Kraft, Share, Lascelles, Dummett and Williams, Almiron, Hayden, Shelby and Atsu, and up front is Jolinton. Max Arends, Leading the chase for Norwich, Stipperman. Pookie. Oh, he turned nicely there. Boyda. Dummied in the way for Newcastle. Joelinton to Atu. And now Hayden. Trying to get it through. Joelinton. Hayden. Oh, what a chance. What a chance for Newcastle. That was a real opportunity there for Steve Bruce's side. Now Timo Pukki. Boyda leading the charge down the right. Good ball in. Stipperman. Still might come Stipperman. And what a chance, and he knows it. We came close to breaking a deadlock without success at Anfield last week. And he's done exactly the same here this week. What a chance. Here's Leitner. Cantwell. Still Todd Cantwell. Good save by De Broca. Struck it Burnley, Todd Cantwell. Certainly one for the future here at Carrow Road. And he certainly forced De Broca into making a marvellous save. Really was a pearl of a save from Martin De Broca. 20 minutes gone. Boyeda's corner. And Pookie's up there. The goalkeeper got a fist on it. Turnbull. Turnbull shot. And well fielded again by De Broca. Pookie. Boyeda again. Pookie making a dash into the middle. Here's Pookie. Oh, what a volley! What a volley by Timo Pookie! 1-0 Norwich. Nicely crafted. Pookie started the move. Played it back to Boyeda with a tremendous cross. And beautifully volleyed on the left foot by Timo Pukki. Past Martin De Broca, who never stood a chance. And Norwich, for all that early play for the 31st, for 31 minutes, get the goal that dominance deserves. And Carrow Road is buzzing with glee. And Steve Bruce must be tearing his hair out. He lost narrowly to Arsenal last week on his home debut for Newcastle as manager. And it's going to be a tough act when you've lost players of the calibre of Solomon Rondon and of course Arosi Perez, and then you've lost Rafa Benitez. It's always going to be a tough act to follow. But here's Almero to Hayden. Can they force something here? Joelinton. Kraft. Joelinton. Joelinton! And that's the best Newcastle created so far in the game, and they've come back remarkably well after going 1-0 down in this. But it was very, very close, but not close enough. And a good ball through. Shot comes in. Shot blocked away. Shelby! That's a fabulous save from Tim Krul, the former Newcastle goalkeeper. Ball rebounding around almost like pinball machine, and a little deflection off a defender there made it doubly difficult for Krul to get down there. But boy did he do that. And as we go into the 9 seconds of the first half, with which we've got about a minute of normal time left, here's Shelby's corner. Liner to get it away for Norwich, and he finds Turnbull. But he's giving it away. Williams. Here he is now, Williams. Atsu. Stoppage time being played, 3 minutes. Jeffro Williams. And he's got past his man. Chance! And it's high up in the air. Krul only fisting it, and it could have gone anywhere. And it's Joelinton! And it's saved quite tamely. The shot was tame, and it was fielded quite well from Krul, who made his own mistake. But Newcastle are still not finished yet. Joelinton on the volley! Side netting, and the half-time whistle goes with that chance. Well, it's 1-0 Norwich at the break. But Newcastle, since that goal after 31 minutes from Timo Pukki, have come back into it and really should be level. But it's the newly promoted side who lead by a goal to nil here at Carrow Road at the break. Atsu. Good ball in. Headed only half away. Now Stipperman for Norwich. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Boyeda. And onside, it's Timo Pukki. This could be his second goal. No! And I don't think he can believe it either. It was there for the taking. He did everything right, but he's hit the side netting. And here come Norwich looking to go through again. It's Pukki again. Oh, that's a great save by the Brooker. It's a fine save, you know. And Timo Pukki, who's in fine fettle this afternoon, he's finding Martin de Brooker a very difficult obstacle. As Roberts comes on for Norwich for the remaining 20 minutes or so of the game, and he comes on straight away. He replaces Boada as that corner comes into the danger zone, and Almiron to Atsu. Now it's Newcastle's turn to attack, and it's Almiron, Joelinton, and they've got, it's 2 against 2 for a second, and here's Almiron. He's onside. It's Almiron wide. And what a chance for Newcastle. He does everything right here. Tim Krul comes out, and it's agonisingly, he may have just shaved the bottom of the post. That is unlucky. Space here for Kraft. 2 in the middle. Atsu! Less than 10 minutes to play, and Newcastle have done what they've friend to do all afternoon and score an equaliser. They've missed chance after chance, or found Tim Krul in imperious form, but this time Atsu finds the way to go and gives Newcastle a level up with less than 10 minutes to play, and they will feel now they've a chance to try and steal it from Norwich. Christian Atsu with the goal. What a piece, and what a game it's turned out to be. Roberts, straight from the restart. Still Roberts. Pukki lines it up. He'll have a go. Good block again. Pukki wins the ball back though. Trying to get into a shooting position, but Shelby has stopped him. Almiron. Good end of this game, this. Still Almiron. Willems. Dummett. Shelby, Dummett. Shelby again. 3 minutes left to play for stoppage time. Shelby. Almiron. Muto. And Muto! That was the game there and then. And Muto just couldn't take the chance. Wide it goes. Shelby. It's a stoppage time. Corner to Newcastle, and this will be the last play. We've played the 3 minutes here. It's a tense end here at Carroll Road. If he does end 1-1, it's one of the most tense 1-1 draws you'll ever see in your life. Shelby with it, corner. Take it in now. Williams with a block, and still not away yet, and Krul ends upon it. And there goes whistle for time of the referee. We played a minute and a half over the 3 added that we were due to have, but what a game. And Newcastle will feel hard done by. They haven't won it. Norwich certainly dominated most periods of the first half, and were leading after 31 minutes, and then 10 minutes from the end, after Newcastle had huffed and puffed and couldn't break the Norwich house down, Atsu 10 minutes from the end saved them a point, although Muto should have won it right at the end there. But Steve Bruce will take a point back, what come may. Norwich really 2 points drop. It's finished. Norwich 1, Newcastle 1. Well, 1-1 draw, an exciting 1-1 draw. Both teams could have nicked it. Newcastle certainly dominated the second half. When they got levelled, they should have won it at the end. And Steve Bruce will rule that as a missed opportunity to get 3 points. But for both teams, though, a point on the board, and that can only be good. That can only be good, really, at the end of it all. Now we move on to the Monday night game, which took place at Molineux between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Manchester United. Wolves had already scored a goalless 0-0 draw against Leicester last week. Manchester United looking to hit back after a defeat against Chelsea last week. We join the action during the first half, and your match commentator is Johnny Brackley. Now, McTominay into Rashford. Mata. And he hits it over the crossbar. Real opportunity there for Manchester United looking for their first win of the season after being beaten at Chelsea last week, and they almost competed a dose there. This is James away from Doherty. James has got 2 or 3 in the middle, and there's the header in by Marcus Rashford. Well, that's 1-0 to Manchester United. That's their first goal of the season. And it's a wonderful work from Daniel James down this left-hand side. And there's the header. Beautifully planted there by Marcus Rashford. And it had to be accurate there. Just away from Patricio's grass there. Well away from his grass, as it turns out. And off the post. And Manchester United have got themselves the lead. Just when they needed it most. Marcus Rashford has scored with 29 minutes on the clock. And what a way to get off the mark for the season. 1-0. Just the start, just a moment United needed just to calm the crowd down a little bit. And just silence the Wolves faithful down. As Doherty finds Dendoncker. Now Wolves looking to hit back straight away. Dendoncker. And Dendoncker hits it over the bar, and he had a player better placed in the middle, although he was probably in 2 minds whether to cross it or not, because he was offside, but it was just over the bar. But Wolves hit him back straight away, and that's a good sign for them anyway. Pogba, 38 minutes gone. McTominay to Rashford. Now then, Marcus Rashford. Oh, he's past one man, he's past another. This is Rashford, and that's 2-0. A marvellous individual goal by Marcus Rashford. And Manchester United go 2 goals clear. A goal of real genius. Watch this again. Past one, past another. And then he's got Patricio to beat, and he does that easily. Fantastic finish. Really keeps his nerves well and scores a brilliant individual goal. Good move, and well deserved at the time it was needed. 41 minutes gone. Marcus Rashford makes it 2-0 to Manchester United. And Wolves now, surely now, even before half time, have got the biggest mountain to climb now to get back into this game. Now then, Pogba, Rashford. Knocked away this time, now Jota. And Jimenez is through. Now an opportunity for Wolves. But he needs support. There's 4 up in this attack. Bennett's one of them. Bennett! That's a fine goal from Ryan Bennett. Hit it true on the left foot. Not renowned for his goal scoring prowess, but he certainly struck it there. And he struck it with some venom too. So Ryan Bennett reduces the arrears for Wolves, as it were. What a tremendous shot. Wolves back in business. 2-1. And at the time that it was needed as well, as regards getting back into this match. So it's Wolves 1, Manchester United 2, and half an hour still to play of what's really been a pulsating game of football. And it's had everything upon everything in it. And here's James. Oh, it's beautifully run down the left hand side. Now then, Daniel James for Manchester United still might go all the way, but Patricio is there to quell the danger. Here's Mata. Pogba in the middle. Here's Pogba! Off! Well, Paul Pogba will only know himself how he's managed to miss that. And that would have put Manchester United well and truly out of sight. Well, we're almost at the end of 2 minutes. Wolves have huffed and puffed, but they just haven't done enough. And Manchester United have won the game and get their first 3 points of the season. 3 points that was so much needed in the context of the game. And really, it was the Marcus Rashford show. 2 magnificent goals. The second being a marvellous individual finish. Bennett did pull one back with a beauty of his own for Wolves, but it just wasn't enough. Pogba missed one at the end, but still a resounding victory for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men. And the wheels are finally turning on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's bus. It's finished here at Molineux. Wolves 1, Manchester United 2.
So Manchester United recovering well from last week's defeat at Old Trafford against Chelsea to come back and beat Wolves quite convincingly. Marcus Rashford there, as you saw, looked in absolute devastating form. Wolves came back, but it just wasn't enough. Manchester United were far, far too good. Right, now let's round up the other 6 Premier League games that took place this weekend. And Johnny Newbon's roundup starts with the big heavyweight clash between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester City.
Please welcome our visitors.
Before we bring you some of the few highlights from this dull counter, this was supposed to be our main feature on the Premiership. Unfortunately, it was a game that really didn't create too much in the way of goal-mouth activity. There were a few chances, but not enough really to merit it being the top match. And that was our original intention, but unfortunately the highlights you're about to see is as good as it got in this game. For example, Sergio Aguero in the early part of the first half, running forward, one-on-one with Luis. Look at that, and he's missed that. Inexplicably missed that, and he scored a magnificent goal last week against West Ham. Just summed up the way this game was going to go, and it set the tone a few minutes later when Harry Kane, after some good work down the right, inexplicably missed from 6 yards. Yes, the England captain missed a sitter from 6 yards. Can you believe that? I certainly couldn't, watching it on the monitor, but there you go. Harry Kane does miss after all. Maybe he's human. Kevin De Bruyne was next to try his luck. He hit the underside of the bar, and Spurs got it out. And then another chance here. Once again, and you just got the sense here, this is a great effort, but over the top again, and it just wasn't. You just felt it wasn't going to need a day. And then at the end, Eric Lamela shooting wide, and at the end, it was a goalless draw. A disappointing end to a disappointing game.
Will you please welcome Liverpool?
So it meant Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool had a chance, and they were up to their tricks early on when Mo Salah put a shot wide of the target. But then the turning point at 0-0, through went Mo Salah. Stevens brought him down in the area. He had to go because he was the last defender, and the referee was straight across in his back pocket, and off went Stevens for an early bath. And it meant a penalty to Liverpool, which Mo Salah himself was going to take. And Salah got there, in off the post, off the back of the goalkeeper Angus Gunn, and into the back of the net. And Liverpool then looked in complete control then, and the celebration wasn't too bad either. Then the second goal, Bobby Firmino laying it in, and Sadio Mane against his old club, making it count double there. Liverpool 2 up and coasting to what was an unassailable victory in the end. And just for good measure, right at the end, they added a third. Lovely work down the near side, and then the shot coming in, and a great finish there for number 3 from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, another former Southampton player. It's looking good for Liverpool. 2 wins out of 2. They're in fantastic form at the right time. Now this was a tight game. Burnley are attacking here. They're in the claret and blue, and Arsenal just in the red there, so apologies for the colour clash. There was a mistake there because the Burnley kit man had brought the wrong kit, so that stopped that from being any commentary game. That was a chance for Ashley Westbrook, which frustrated manager Sean Dyche. Then Alexander Lacazette brought the very best out of the goalkeeper Nick Pope. He made a marvellous save to deny Lacazette, and that time it might just give Burnley an opportunity, but any hopes of maybe getting 3 points back to Turf Moor, or even getting a point back to Turf Moor, was extinguished with about half an hour gone when Ben Mee seemed to bring down. He looked as if he was the last man, but I reckon James Tarkowski could have got back there and covered, but alas, the Burnley captain was sent off, and Burnley, although they argued a decision with the referee, the referee sadly wasn't going to change his mind. It was a bad tackle. It was on the edge of the area, although Pepe makes a little bit of a meal of it. But from the free kick, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who actually loves scoring against the Clarets, unfortunately for the Clarets, did so again. And there goes the celebration. But frustration really for Burnley, down to 10 men and suffering the double whammy. Having said that though, maybe Tarkowski could have done better on the line, maybe, but Pope definitely had no chance with that one. Arsenal then looked to try and penetrate again. Pepe coming close, hitting one shot over. Burnley just couldn't get back into the game. It was very, very hard when they were down to 10 men, but in the end Arsenal hung on and took the 1-0 victory against the brave 10 men of Burnley.
Thank you for attending today's match. Will you please welcome West Ham United?
Well, 3 goals happened in the first half here at the Amex Stadium. Tossar getting the first one for Brighton very early doors in the first half. A bit of a mistake there by one of the West Ham defenders, and Tossard nodded it in from about 7 or 8 yards to give West Ham the lead. Later on in the same half, as the Brighton fans went crazy there, later on in the first half he doubled his tally and doubled Brighton's tally as well, again in the same corner, this time a nice little side-footed finish, and that put the Seagulls 2 goals clear and seemingly in control. But then before half time back came West Ham. Lovely football again. Yarmolenko this time receiving it on the far side, cuts inside and thrashes it into the corner past Matt Ryan, and it gave West Ham hope. And indeed they had another chance. Declan Rice taking possession and playing it in, and this was the opportunity that West Ham were craving for, but unfortunately the ball goes over the crossbar and away to safety.
Please welcome our visitors, Leicester City.
Well, this game really didn't have much going for it in the end. Another good opportunity there at the start. I think it was Maddison who had it saved. Then Hamza Chowdhury in the second half had a chance to score himself, and then Chelsea with N'Golo Kante going clean through, got his shot in, then the looping header that went over the top, and that was about as good as it got. They tried and tried, but they just couldn't break down either defences. Certainly the defences were on top, and as a result it finished goalless. And finally, Sheffield United against Crystal Palace. A game that may have finished goalless in the end, but there were plenty of missed opportunities. Jordan Ayew here, the guiltiest one of the lot. 7 or 8 yards out, free header, should do better. Lovely cross from the right hand side, and Jordan Ayew should be burying those. And then Crystal Palace had a chance through Milivojevic after Sheffield United had only half cleared, got underneath the shot. And then Sheffield United, towards the end of the first half, were reduced to 10 men. John Egan was sent off here after Ayew had got away. Again, there may be an argument as to would there have been a covering defender. Egan was frustrated, and the referee again reached for his back pocket. Third sending off in the Premier League this weekend. That must be a record. There was 2 last week, 3 this week. That's 5 already in the first 2 weeks of the Premier League season. And John Egan maybe will feel hard done by from the resulting 3 kick. A terrific save from Dean Henderson, a really good piece of goalkeeping, and you'll see it again. Great free kick. This is Milivojevic taking the 3 kick, and that's scraping into the top corner, but Dean Henderson with a marvellous save. And at the end, Sheffield United could have won it themselves. A real opportunity here, off the bar, and then the rebound over, and again another goalless draw. So let's take a look at the league table, Premier League table after week 2, shall we? Liverpool and Arsenal both joint top on maximum points. They're the only 100% records left. Then come Manchester City in 3rd place. Everton up to 4th with their resounding victory over Watford. Villa up to 5th with their terrific 1-0 victory over Bournemouth. Chelsea 6th. Manchester United off the mark now, 3 points. Well out of trouble now for them. And Bournemouth completing the top 8. Watford 9th and Brighton 10th. At the wrong end of the table, Burnley have now sadly dropped into the bottom 3 after their disappointing 1-0 defeat with 10 men against Arsenal this afternoon. Norwich joined them in the bottom 3, although they should have really tried to put Newcastle to bed. West Ham with a -5 goal difference, not looking good for Manuel Pellegrini's side. Sheffield United with their first points out the bottom 3 as well. Well, there we go. Another thrilling finish to the Premier League for week 2. We had a few goalless draws, of course, but plenty of red cards, plenty of controversy, and a few contenders, I reckon, for goal of the month. See you next week. Bye bye. It's John again! That is a fantastic goal!